Hi, this is Helen with Helenistique. Today I wanted to go over the yearly budget bundle that I have put up on the shop. This is definitely a way that I budget yearly, all year round, and you just print it out once, these inserts, and then you have it for the whole year. This is not the monthly budget. That is totally different. So I will share that in another video, but in this video, we're just going to talk about the yearly because I think it's a great time of year for you to get your hands on this or something like this. It doesn't have to be mine. It could be anyone's yearly bundle and get yourself into it. The things that I have in here are going to be helping you a lot. Now on the shop bundle, this is my beta test version, but nothing has really changed outside of the fact that there's a big 1 here on the front dash. There's a big 2 here, for example, and then there's a big 3 here, and then a big 4 here. There are 4 sections in the PLC yearly budget bundle, and then you will also have page numbers right here. I did realize as I was putting this together after printing it, I was like, okay, I was having a hard time. Even I made this and I do this every year. I was even having a hard time which page goes where, right? And so what I did was put right below where it says Productivity Lab or productivelab.co. It has page numbers. So it would be page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, so on and so forth to help you put it together once you print. You guys, I cannot wait until I can offer stuff like this tangibly shipped to you guys already made and not having you guys like struggle with this. But you know, for me, I actually have so much fun with printable inserts. So I don't know. I just call me weird, but that's just me. We will go over this in details. So I've got my business slash project slash budget binder on the left, and then I've got my EDC, my everyday carry, my everything planner on the right. If you guys have visited my shop, you'll see that I have the yearly bundle for budget, and this is how I bundle it up for our home budget. Always has a financial blueprint, some questions to about. My husband and I sit down and we talk about it. What is our goal for the year, financially speaking? And why am I doing this? Why are we doing this? And why is it important to us? Basically, we want to dig deep into what we're trying to say. What is our goal? And then why is that important? And on the right side is the visual blueprint. And this is a place where you can have fun cropping in or adding in some photos, magazine clips, and things to kind of create your financial blueprint of vision board, if you will, for your finances. Areas of financial literacy I wish to learn. This is an area where I'll be visiting often to write down, just jot down, what do I really want to focus on in 2025 and learn? Like one year was stocks and ETFs. This year, I want to really focus on learning how to save more on taxes and be just really being smart with taxes. So that is an area. So I'm going to have all the different topics that has to do with taxes here for business and for home. And then savings plan, I got the savings plan on the left. What do I want to save up for? So these are all the goals. When are they due? For example, it could be your sinking funds. It could be buying a house or down paying on a car or buying out a car or big purchases, kids camps that you guys know every year that happens and it's a big gulp of money out of your paycheck. Then you want to plan out for it because it could be a couple bucks per paycheck if you really plan out for it. So per paycheck, how much is it? And per month, how much do you need to save to get there to your goal? And then on the right is just telling it all together, your total goal number, and then writing down that whole amount. Each square, there are 100 squares in here. So each square equals what? Divided by 100, right? And then each line, there's 10 lines in here. So each line is equal to what? So that is what that is. And it's fun to track this way because it's, you know, every time you save up and fill up a square, you color it in or whatever have you. And it's just exciting. Debt repayment plan, if you have debt, you know, just writing it down in order that you want to pay it off. Usually the snowball method is the easiest thing to do. Now, if you're a mathematician type of person and you're really into your percentages, then you want to go with the highest interest first. obviously, and that's the avalanche method. Whichever one works for you is totally fine. I personally went with Snowball when I was paying off debt in 2018, and that actually went really fast. It's all in the motivational factor for me. If I have a long list like this of debt and I see the list getting smaller and smaller and smaller, to me, psychologically, I want to attack this whole list fast. Avalanche is more of being smart with your money. If the percentage is like 24% of interest versus a 1.5%, obviously you want to pay off the 24% first. And a lot of people think like this, but for me, it didn't matter. At that point in time, I was like, I want to get out of debt. And how can I do that fast? And the fast way for me was to be psychologically like motivated, emotionally attached to getting this list shorter and shorter and shorter until it went away. So for me, that was my plan. And I loved what I did with that. So debt tracker. And this is just where you list out every different accounts or of debt. So each of these lines over here would go into here. Then the credit card tracker for the whole year that you paid it on the due date, so you have good credit. And then bill tracker, which date, and then also every month you get to check it off for the whole year. And then memberships and subscriptions. I talked about this in another video, but I do like to go on to this quarterly and check up and see what new subscriptions we have or what old ones we want to get rid of because we no longer enjoy it anymore. Because a lot of the memberships and subscriptions in our home particularly are for convenience and for entertainment purposes. And so it's like if we needed to like really, really cut down on expenses, this is the first area I would look at, right? So this is that area where I want to look at it on a quarterly basis, even if I am not like forced to cut down my finances and expenditures. I still want to look in here regularly to make sure that I am managing the money correctly and not just having a random subscription that's just laying around that no one's enjoying in the family. So there's that, because you rather want to, give that money away or, give it to your parents or eat good food or go on another vacation with that type of money rather than just spend it and waste it, right? And then this is the yearly wealth overview. And I call it wealth overview because essentially what you're doing is you're looking at your assets each month throughout the year and drawing the squiggly line in the graph. I love that, you guys. I love seeing visual things happen in real time because as you go throughout the year, you'll see the ups and downs. You will start to think in terms of how can I make this up better? How can I make this down better? You want to make those smart decisions based on actual numbers. You don't want to sit there and make random decisions and say, oh my gosh, this week we spent way too much on food. Well, did you really? Because maybe you didn't. Oftentimes for me, back in 2018, when I really got into like the budgeting era of my life and really wanted to attack and learn and master budgeting, what I ended up doing when I started tracking my expenditures on food, oh my goodness. I thought we were spending like $1,000 on food. It was actually $3,000 to $3,500 a month on food alone. Okay, no wonder we're doing all kinds of things randomly and making random decisions. And so then I really, really trimmed down our food budget. Today, it's about $1,500. And we also have eat out and snack budget separately outside of the grocery food. So things are working out very well for me. I typically don't go over between the food and the eating out. It's usually within the circle. So I'm really happy about that. But it took me this type of smart decisions, knowing my numbers to come up with that kind of change in our family life. So wealth management thoughts, these are just random thoughts that come into mind. Just write it down, jot it down. Don't be scared of paper. That's what I want to say. For a long time, I would leave things like this open. No, I no longer do that. Random thoughts that come into mind when it comes to money, finances, your wealth management, put it down on paper and, let that sink in. Changes start with those type of behaviors. You are very mindful of that topic. So budget categories, these are all the categories that would be in your budget. So for instance, food for me, what does food cover? Does it cover eating out? No, it does not. So I would put food, groceries, because that to me is what food is. Lunch money, our baby daughter, she still does lunch money at school. So her lunch money, I would put lunch money under food and not eating out, because I don't consider that eating out. In terms of eating out, takeouts, dining out, versus let's say our family went out to celebrate someone's birthday, that would be holidays and birthdays category for me. It would not be under eating out or food. Want to make sure I know what my category fits what type of expenditures. Everyone's budget is going to be very individualized to you, what you want to track. Maybe you want to track your eating out and snacks separately. Some people, like my friends, they track anything to do with food, eating out, family fun eating out, birthday party eating out, coffees, snacks, dining, groceries. They put it all under one thing called food. So there's that too. And no one is right or wrong in this, because everyone has their own way of tracking and what they want to monitor. So for instance, the reason why I track my food and eating out snacks separately is because I know my grocery is usually kept. I don't usually go over my budget when it comes to food. Grocery food. But then when it comes to our eating out, dining out, takeout, snacks, sometimes it goes way over. And so I want to keep a track separately and give it a separate set of numbers that I want to be within, and draw that line separately outside of my grocery budget. So these are all my categories. I have total income, all the inflows that come in, whether it's credit card, rewards, whatever income comes in, or it could be like stock dividends. Then it's expenditures, housing, utilities, giving, savings, debt, insurance, bank fees, food, groceries, eating out, and snacks, household, beauty, transportation, spending, healthcare, kids, pets, holidays and gifts, entertainment, travel. Productive Lab is now going to start having expenditures, and then reimbursement, and then the ending balance of what I was left off with in January. That's going to roll over into February's finances. So that is what my category looks like. This is my budget overview for the whole year, and I'll just write down the numbers. I don't put down the cents, I just round it up or down. Assets, liabilities, and net worth. And this is where your data is going to come out of for these graphs right here. And then income, spending. So income comes from here. Your spending comes from here. And then whatever else you want to track. Savings, investments, giving. I'm tracking giving this year. So, and then beginning thoughts at 2025 and end of 2025. What are you thinking? So this is another area where you could freely write down some goals or blueprint of how you're going to do things, like I'm going to budget every day, or I'm going to budget once a week. I'm going to pay all my bills in advance 1 month ahead, or I'm going to save up for 6 months of emergency monies. Maybe it could be a thought like, I fear money and I want to learn how to not fear money. Whatever is on your mind, you want to write it down here, and then at the end of 2025 kind of match it up and see where you at the end of the year after 12 months has gone. So it's kind of exciting to see those kind of changes within yourself, because this is all self-development as well. This is a practice, you guys. This is not just, something that you land into and you get these worksheets and all of a sudden you're just really good with money. That's not how this works. This works through years of practice, months of practice, days of practice. So it just a lot of practice, and I'm still in the practice, you guys. There's still things that I'm trying to be more reliable within myself with money. I mean, there are times where I just go on Instagram and, I see things that you always see things that you need, right? Or someone else needs it in your family or your friends. You're like, oh my God, they need that. This is perfect for that person. And you just press buy. How easy is it to fall into consumerism in 2024 and 2025. So, these are things that I'm still working through, and, and those are things that I would write down in those thought areas. And then I have the monthly budget up front. We'll talk about that in another video, but I did want to cover this, you guys, because this is kind of important. If there's some of you out there that are just like, okay, I want to get my finances in order, I don't know where to start, this would be a really good starting position. It does seem like a lot, but like I said, don't try to perfect your budget or this whole concept of you managing your money like on the go. Like, you cannot. It is not something that you're going to do right away. But when you have worksheets like this to help you, it does help to get you started on a way of doing things. And quite frankly, someone who has already done it, not a bad start. From here, you could say, okay, well, I don't need this visual tracker. I'm a logical person. I don't need to see visual things. Okay, well, take that out. Don't be afraid of doing that either. Maybe you don't want a savings plan. You just want to do the squares. That's fine too. So you do you. That's the whole point of this. Tell yourself, this is what I want to commit to. I might not be perfect, but I'm going to at least commit to it and see where I go with it. Be mindful with it.